Hello, this is Bill David, the 582nd Chapter President out at Toledo Executive Airport, reporting with you on the second edition of the monthly video newsletter, January 28, 2019. We got a lot of things to go over, so stay tuned. Last week, John Kerfis, Glenn Meyring, and myself borrowed an airplane off Brad Newman and flew out to Oshkosh for a weekend's worth of leadership development training at the EAA National Headquarters in the Lodge. We got there on Friday evening. There was a social event, and then we pretty much studied the rest of the time. We left about 1300 on the third day and made it back home in spite of the freezing cold temperatures. So while we were there in the classroom for the 3 days at the Oshkosh Lodge, they gave us presentation on quite a few different aspects of the EAA chapter management program. And they went over a whole bunch of stuff that impacts chapters, like managing your chapter in general, how to keep track of things and what's important to keep track of, and chapter gatherings, how to better organize them and make them more successful. And there was a whole bunch on insurance and risk management. Of course, everybody really enjoyed that. It went on, seemed like it went on forever, lots of questions. Programs and activities, there was a whole host of things that they went over. And they were good enough to give us this book that we can keep for the chapter. And it has all kinds of neat information in it about how to be a better and more effective chapter. And it was kind of refreshing because Glenn and John and myself have been having a regular telephone conference meeting every Monday for the past 3 or 4 weeks. And we've been trying to put down on a piece of paper the number of objectives that we're going to try to achieve over the next year in basically organizing the chapter. And I'm thinking, of course, I was an airline pilot, and there's a lot of good to be said how airline pilots operate things. And I'm going to try to apply that to the chapter. And most of the stuff that they talked about at the EAA was stuff that we've been discussing over the past several weeks. Basically what I call standard operating procedures with how to run the chapter. So what we're going to do is we're going to develop what we call a QRH. And if you're a pilot of an airliner or a jet, they got these things called a QRH. This one's for a Airbus, the last one I flew. And what's in it is a whole bunch of really good stuff on how to run an Airbus. Well, what we're going to do is make one of these for the chapter. And it'll go over all kinds of standard operating procedures for transmission of power when another administration takes over. And just basically organize the thing to try to make it run a little smoother. So it was interesting and rewarding experience to sit there and listen to what they had to say and know that we had pretty much arrived at the same conclusion on our own. So obviously one of the things that makes a chapter more attractive to somebody and hopefully more successful in the long run is activities. And so what we've done is we've set up on our calendar on our website activities once a week, and the first week is an IMC club, and I'll be hosting that, and it's an opportunity for people to sit around and talk about instrument flight rule situations or whatnot. And then on the second Thursday it will be the VMC club, which I'll host that too initially, and it'll the same thing as an IMC club, but it'll be for visual rules, and they just give you a scenario and you debate what the situation is and come up with a way that you would have handled it. There's no right or wrong answer to anything. It's just a means of communication and putting out different ideas. So there's 2 programs that we'll have on the calendar. And of course the third Thursday, every Thursday at 7 o'clock, although I'm thinking about moving it to 6:30, will be our general meeting, and there'll be no business conducted during the general meeting, maybe just a little bit, but it'll be mostly for eating, and then going on to our program for the evening. And to start out with, I already did one, and I thought it was kind of nice, but then of course I would because I put it on. But in order to not strap one person to be in charge of something, which has happened in the past, and setting them up for failure, we'll distribute the meetings amongst ourselves initially. So Glenn is going to do the next meeting. I don't know what his topic is going to be. And then, of course, John will follow and he'll come up with his topic. But the important thing is those meetings will be every week, VMC, IMC, the general meeting, and I reserved the last Thursday for youth. And I'm going to really try to build up the youth aspect of the operation. And of course, the EAA has finally come to recognize that. They're actually developing a model airplane program. So I want to be a part of that, of course. But we have a lot of activities on the calendar, and as we move forward, we hope to bolster them and make them all fun for something in it for everybody. So as far as the general meetings go, there'll be food at every general meeting, and what I'm going to do is contract with Carolyn's Catering, and she'll provide an entree and 2 sides. It's for $7, I think, and I think there's a little extra charge for a roll, and we'll have to bring some drinks in. So your meal's going to cost each one of you probably about $8 when it's over with. So we'd appreciate it if you're going to have to RSVP when we send out the email for the chapter meeting, and you'll have to RSVP if you want to get a meal. And then, of course, if you do show up, it'd be kind of nice if you put in at least $8 for the donation to cover the cost of the meals, and a little bit extra would be good too, but that's how we're going to handle the meals. So if we're not going to have any discussion on business at our chapter meetings, how are we going to handle that? Well, what I've done is I've gone to the website and added under the members only pull-down menu chapter business discussion. And you'll be able to go there and carry on any business that you might want to add or discuss with amongst the members or post as an idea. You can use it for whatever you want to as far as chapter business goes. So an example might be a discussion on whether you should have, whether we should have red-skinned potatoes or green beans at our next award ceremony. Well, that can be very boring, not only for the members, but particularly new people. So that kind of business can be taken care of on the website now, and you can put your opinion, voice your ideas 24/7, 365. You can make motions to purchase something, criticisms of how the operation is going, ideas for events, whatever you want to do will go on the general business meeting tab in the on the website. And that way we'll take care of business, I think, more effectively, because you'll be able to do it whenever you want and respond to it whenever you want. It'll keep our meetings from being bogged down with discussion that not everybody's really interested in. Now, in regards to the award ceremony, yes, we are going to have it. It's going to be on March 2nd, and it's going to be at the Shriners Hall, and it will be catered, and we're working on all the details. Dee Weesey and a couple other people are working hard to put that thing together. But I'd like to have a theme this year. It goes along the lines of thanking people outside the chapter for their contributions to what has helped us in the past. And if you just go to Jim Miller in Air America, he's flown banners for us at a reduced cost and a couple times for free. Eric Barnum has done a lot for us in the past. He's let Steve use the airplane for free to give Young Eagles rides. Brad Newman has been fantastic over the years, very supportive. So we're trying to develop a list of those people, invite them and honor them, and I'd like to get a speaker that would talk something along the lines of working within the community to make the whole thing successful. So if anybody has an idea on a speaker, let me know. The fellow that I had, unfortunately, is going to be gone on vacation that week. So yes, there will be a award ceremony. Yes, it will be fun, and hope to see you all there. Now, another thing I'd like to talk about before I close is that we have been working to put together a beta on a means to raffle household items off to members that are on our email list. And last week, I think it's not even been a week yet, we put out a sample raffle to about 20 people, and we're going to run that thing all the way through and raffle off the item and see how it goes. And then after that, we'll probably do another raffle, just a beta to another 20 different people, and hopefully by that time we'll have it all straightened out and working halfway decent. So we'll do a chapter wide. Everybody on the email list will be able to get in on this raffle. And this raffle, I hope you will support it. It's very low. It means you don't have to give $50 or something like that. These tickets will be probably $2, $4, $5, maybe $10 at the most. And every ticket you buy helps make the chapter stronger financially, which we can use right now. And I would encourage you, when this raffle comes out, that maybe you send it to other people and they can, buy a ticket or two. And it'll be household items. And I'm thinking also that we should be able to develop the top 10 list of things you'd like to have us raffle off, so that you'll actually be, donating money for something that you'd like to use for yourself or for your family or a friend or whatever. So keep an eye peeled for that raffle, and please help us make it successful. So that's pretty much it for the second edition of the chapter video newsletter. And I'm new at this. I'm still trying to figure out how to work the editing feature. I'm going to try to come up with some snazzy things to make the video a little bit more interesting. And just probably accompany it with some written material eventually in the future. But for now, I'm just struggling with trying to figure out how to do this stuff and send it off to you. So that's all I got to say for now. I'd just like to close with, again, ask not what your chapter can do for you, but ask what you can do for your chapter. Thank you and good evening.